Hey everyone, welcome back to the realm. I'll be your guide beyond waking realm. Today, we're diving into the meaning behind Pyramid Head, the executioner James cannot escape. Before we talk about Pyramid Head, we need to let go of one mistake people make immediately. Pyramid Head is not a monster you defeat. He is not a villain you overcome. And he is not chasing James Sunderland because he enjoys it. Pyramid Head exists because James needs him to exist. Silent Hill does not punish randomly. It reflects, it manifests, and it repeats until the truth is faced. And Pyramid Head is the physical shape of that repetition. This is not a story about a monster. This is a story about self-inflicted judgment. Pyramid Head's true name isn't Pyramid Head at all. Internally, he is called the Red Pyramid thing. That matters because he isn't a character with a personal identity. He's a function. Pyramid Head is an executioner, not of others, but of James himself. He represents James' unconscious desire to be punished for what he's done. The oversized blade he drags isn't meant for efficiency. It's meant to be exhausting, heavy, slow. Every step he takes feels like labor, because guilt is labor. Silent Hill didn't invent Pyramid Head. James did. The town simply gave him form. The pyramid helmet isn't random horror imagery. It mirrors Silent Hill's historical executioners. Men who carried out punishment without mercy or emotion. Their role wasn't justice, it was obedience. By giving Pyramid Head this helmet, Silent Hill removes his humanity entirely. He doesn't speak, he doesn't emote, he doesn't hesitate. Because guilt doesn't hesitate. Why Pyramid Head targets James? James Sunderland didn't come to Silent Hill to be forgiven. He came because part of him believes he doesn't deserve forgiveness. Pyramid Head appears only after James enters spaces tied to sexual repression, death, and shame. This matters. Pyramid Head isn't hunting James randomly. He appears when James is closest to confronting himself, then violently redirects him away from it. Every encounter reinforces one message. You deserve to suffer before you're allowed to understand. This is why Pyramid Head doesn't kill James outright. Punishment without awareness is meaningless. Sexualized violence and repression. This part makes people uncomfortable. And it should. Pyramid Head's violence is often sexualized, not for shock, but for meaning. And at the same time, while mentioning that nothing about what Pyramid Head has done is really considered that he was doing anything sexually. There's like a split group of people that what Pyramid Head does is often sexualized or not. But in this status, I'm mentioning both in a very neutral ground, connecting both things at once. James' relationship with Mary deteriorated into resentment, emotional withdrawal, and sexual frustration as her illness worsened. Silent Hill doesn't judge James morally. It externalizes what he buried. Pyramid Head's acts mirror distorted intimacy, control replacing connection, domination replacing care. This isn't titillation, it's indictment. The duplicate Pyramid Heads. The most important moment in Silent Hill 2 isn't when Pyramid Head appears, it's when two of them appear. Two executioners, two blades, in this case, spears, two reflections. This isn't escalation, it's revelation. James doesn't just feel guilt, he feels layered guilt. One Pyramid Head represents the act itself. The other represents James' continued denial after the act. And the fact that, like, when throughout this whole journey up until the last moments, it was only just one Pyramid Head. And then, like, it was eating up James. Like, James knew, but he didn't know because he kept on denying that he, did the act of killing, whether it was mercy kill or with cruel intentions. That's on your interpretation. And that's what this story, that's what Silent Hill, the series in general, holds so much in value to, that yours is what you interpret as the audience. And we don't have to agree, and we can always, have our own opinions for that reason. Once after he acknowledges that he killed Eddie, that's when the second Pyramid Head came into play, and that's when he said, I don't need you anymore, because he realizes what he has done, because two of them meant he has killed two people. When they finally impale themselves, they aren't being defeated, they are being dismissed. James no longer needs punishment, he needs truth, and he knows the truth. And why they kill themselves. Pyramid Head does not survive past his purpose. Once James accepts responsibility, not excuses, not justification, the executioners disappear. Punishment ends when accountability begins. This is why Pyramid Head does not appear for other characters the same way. He has tailored guilt. Misuse in later games. Later, Silent Hill entries misunderstood Pyramid Head. They turned him into a mascot, a slasher, a recognizable, cool monster. But Pyramid Head without James is hollow. He doesn't exist to terrorize players. He exists to mirror one man's psyche. When reused without that context, Pyramid Head loses meaning and becomes spectacle. He was never meant to return. Now, there's a fan theory and a group split up among the Silent Hill fandom, is that Silent Hill can somehow, some way, take other people's trauma and reuse it into other people's world. I'm gonna call it that. Their own journey in Silent Hill, right? Whether you agree or disagree to that, it's a good theory, and we'll stick with that. However, how it was intended. This was the sole reason. And why he should have stayed in Silent Hill 2. Pyramid Head's power comes from specificity. Remove the sin and you remove the executioner. Silent Hill works best when its monsters are personal, not universal. The final reflection regarding Pyramid Head and James in that Pyramid Head isn't chasing James. He's walking beside him, waiting. Every drag of the script, every heavy step, every silent stare is asking the same question. How long will you punish yourself before you face what you've done? Silent Hill doesn't forgive, it doesn't condemn, it reflects. And Pyramid Head is the reflection James couldn't look at until he finally did. And once he did, Pyramid Head had nothing left to do. If this dive resonated with you, I'd love to hear how you interpret Pyramid Head. Was he punishment? Justice? Or simply guilt given shape? Because no matter how we ourselves interpret all of this, whether you agree and justify James's actions or don't justify James's action, at the same time he went through so much trauma and grief that we ourselves, we sometimes in our own world and biased opinion, when we're not in an emotionally state, we biasly judge and question other people and how they live their life, or how does pop culture reference how that action was fair or unfair. But then when that moment happens for yourselves, we all grieve differently, and you sometimes lose that reality, and things starts to crumble in your own world, and you would like to do something where normally you would do something, and it's realistic, it's unquestionable, it's right, ambiguously morally right. But then as soon as something in your world crumbles in emotional status, you're not there in your head anymore, and you run with emotions. Sometimes you do things that you don't realize that you should not be doing. And that is why this world, this place truly is interesting, because how even yourselves to also reflect to how you would have been if you were in James's shoes, or anyone else in the Silent Hill franchise. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if this helped you see Silent Hill differently, stick around. We're all navigating this fog together, and your perspective matters.